Begin today with the President of the United States calling a growing caravan of Central American migrants a national emergency. Mexican authorities say there are now more than 7,000 people making their way to the United States. This includes women and children. Most of them are from Honduras, where they are fleeing poverty and violence.
The group had to evade police barricades this weekend when crossing over from Guatemala to Mexico. Many crossed a river on makeshift rafts. President Trump tweeted about the caravan earlier today, saying, quote, criminals and unknown Middle Easterners are mixed in. I have alerted Border Patrol and military that this is a national emergency.
In a statement yesterday, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo expressed concerns about the, quote, apparent political motivations of some of the caravan's organizers. Adriana Diaz is following the caravan in Mexico.
Sunday, the caravan lurched forward, carrying babies, suitcases, and hope. In this rushing river of migrants, it was hard for families to stay together.
¿Quiénes son estas niñas? Who are these girls?
We came across two sisters separated from their parents.
She said she was traveling with her mother and her father. Now she's not with them. She says her sister was taking care of her.
This woman, watching over the sisters, told us they were put on a truck by their mother, who then disappeared into the crowd.
She says she has two kids also. She's not leaving them.
We found Karen Lanza looking for her son after he'd fallen behind. He eventually caught up, exhausted. They've been walking for 10 days. To get here, most migrants crossed this river between Guatemala and Mexico. Some entered legally through this bottlenecked bridge. Others, out of desperation, jumped, preferring to swim across the border instead. We saw federal police on standby, but they didn't stop illegal crossings.
The migrants have finally reached the city of Tapachula, and it is now starting to rain. You can see everyone trying to scramble for cover.
Children tried to make the best of the wet chaos. Esnaider Davila sought shelter under a tarp. He's 16, alone, and has never been to school.
Why did you leave?
Por violencia, por falta de dinero.
He said because of violence, because there's no money. He just wants to have an education.
Amid the crying babies and hastily made meals, we reconnected with Karen and her exhausted children. She told us she was thinking about turning back.
She says her kids have had to deal with being hungry, but they've never had to deal with being cold, having to sleep on the floor.
Adriana Diaz joins us now from Tapachula, Mexico. Adriana, we talked a little bit earlier about these children walking sort of for days on end. I can't even imagine. I know my daughter would walk for, maybe an hour maximum. I can't imagine forcing her to walk for months and months. Tell me some of the stories that you've heard from the children, from their parents, from others. What have they had to endure on this journey?
Well, we've spoken to children who say they're tired, but somehow they still have the energy to smile. They're resilient. We saw children playing with whatever they could. In the piece that just aired, there's a boy who turns water bottles into toys. So the children can't walk as far, but they are, I think, adding energy to this movement, helping their parents move forward. We have noticed on the caravan there have been moments where trucks will roll by. A lot of locals have trucks, so they'll come out to try to help, and then they yell, women and children, get on the truck, and suddenly just a mob of women and children just are almost surge onto this truck, onto the back of a pickup truck to try to help them move forward a little faster with these kids. But it is difficult. Mothers are carrying their children. They are holding their hands. They are encouraging them to move forward because they want them to get to the United States. They want them to get somewhere where they think they can have more opportunities for their families. And just looking around, there are a lot of children here in the crowd. When we first arrived, our photographer Kenton noticed that there was a family all sleeping, but the baby was awake. So the baby is sitting up, looking around at this sea of humanity and probably doesn't know what to make of it. But it was just such a powerful moment to see, babies who are here who probably have no idea what's going on. Kenton, if you just pan over here to your right, there's a man carrying his son. Just behind me, there's a baby where I'm standing right now in diapers. So this boy isn't wearing any pants right now. His mother may have clothes for him in her bag. These kids have been wet. They got rained on yesterday in this plaza. They are doing the best they can. Parents are having to struggle with seeing their children sleeping on the street, on the pavement. It's difficult. One mother told me she gets her strength from her children, but she's considering going back because of her children.
Yeah, we can see that you're very moved.
It's because of their children that they want to move forward.
Yeah.
You know,
it's hard to see.
Yeah, no, it's hard. I've been following her reporting on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram. It's so difficult to see, as you point out, Adriana, to watch these little babies, these mothers and fathers, families fleeing poverty, extreme poverty, the likes that we can barely imagine. I just want to ask you, you've been sort of on the road with this caravan for a couple of days now. Have you met any unknown Middle Easterners in the groups that you've encountered over the course of the couple of days that you've been there? Because that's what the president has tweeted, that he believes is mixed in with these babies and their mothers and dads.
We haven't seen anyone from the Middle East mixed in here. That's not to say they don't exist. There are thousands of people, but every single person we've encountered, actually every single person we've interviewed is from Honduras. One person, we've seen some people who actually lived in the U.S. who got deported and are trying to get back, but we haven't encountered anyone, not a single person who is not from Honduras.
Adriana, the president says that he's willing to even sort of shut down the border in order to stop this caravan from making it to the U.S. Are they aware of what the president is saying and what they may be facing once they get to the U.S. border?
And Marie, they are extremely aware of what they are facing at the U.S. border. They know what the president is saying. They know that the border might be shut down, and somehow that's not deterring them at all. Several people have told us that they essentially hope for divine intervention. One woman said that she hopes that God softens President Trump's heart so that he allows this group of migrants to enter, or if not, provides them some kind of alternative, helps them in some kind of way. We've heard from several people that nobody in their right mind would want to leave home. People said, we love our home, we love our country, we are only doing this out of necessity. We feel we have no other choice because we have trouble feeding our children. One woman told me that her children have gotten more food along this caravan than they do back home in Honduras. So this is the situation these people are in. This is what they are fleeing.
Adriana Diaz, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.